Google has been hit by yet another antitrust suit by the EU. That's what we're discussing on today's edition of Inside AB. I'm Shruthi Nair and this is Bernd Debusmann. So Bernie, tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
So what happened was that the EU has fined Google 1.5 billion euros for antitrust violations. The EU has been quite proactive in the electronic sector. So what they've said was that Google violated antitrust rules by imposing unfair terms on companies that used its search bar. So what does that mean exactly? It's a bit complicated. So the fine centers on contracts that license Google search bars, such as newspapers, blogs, travel services. And what the EU is saying is that the operators of these third-party websites had been required to display a disproportionate amount of material from Google's own advertising.
Oh, okay.
So this isn't the first time either. So now the European fines against Google, there's been 3 of them so far, are roughly 8.2 billion euros. So that's $9.3 billion.
Wow,
so
that's
a quite
huge,
significant number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Huge sum. So far the measures that they've taken, are they really working?
Well, it depends who you ask. So, I mean, for a long time, Europe was being criticized as unfairly focusing on tech companies in the United States. But now people are sort of looking at it as a model that might be followed. But some people say that these sorts of fines don't work. Of course, Google's a huge company. They can eat a fine like that if they have to. So in the New York Times, Gene Kimmelman, a former antitrust official at the U.S. Justice Department, said that antitrust fines or after-the-fact remedies are not enough to bring vibrant competition to the market. So what he's suggesting, what other people have suggested, is that there be rules that govern platforms like Google to make sure that they can't favor their own service.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting because in the United States it's actually becoming quite a hot political issue. Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts, who's of course running for president, she's made breaking up Google and other tech giants kind of one of the main focuses of her campaign. So we'll be hearing a lot more about this in the States as the election ramps up. Oh,
that'll be really interesting if Google is finally broken up. But for now, what's next?
Well, for one, Google's responded. So they said that healthy, thriving markets are in anyone's interest. And they say they've already made changes to their products to address the EU's concerns. And over the next few months, they'll be making more updates to give more visibility to rivals in Europe. But past that, we'll have to see how that goes because it's unclear whether those measures will be enough for the EU to be happy and whether Google will respond or what happens when the American elections, this becomes more of a hot button issue there.
Oh, very interesting. Thanks so much for that, Bernie. And looks like Google is in trouble, but we will keep you updated on this story across our social platforms. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and go on ArabianBusiness.com for regular news updates.